Hey, Banner, you want to go grab a boba tea?
Babe, you know I'm on a diet.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Welcome in to the Bro Force Squad podcast. This is our review of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 6, Episode 4, entitled Code Yellow. I'm your host, Jeff Hornacek, as always joined by the mad scientist, Brian Banner, and the much wiser than us Trent Pip in the YouTube comments we know is listening. We are here to review this episode as we do all of our television episodes on the 4 Bro Force Squad criteria. Shut up while I'm doing the intro.
Sorry, babe.
Acting. Acting is the first. Story, our favorite scene, and then theories or questions that we have going forward. So, Banner, the way that this season has worked thus far is there's two vastly disparate storylines, which I'm sure will connect, and we're really not getting the other one that's not being told in this episode. So, what did you think of the acting and cast, since the cast is pretty much split in two, so we get like one half of it this week?
All right, babe. So basically, Deke is Deke. We know he sucks. His girlfriend didn't think she was very strong. Keller, I thought he actually did a really good job working aside Yo-Yo and Dr. Buttface. So that was pretty much my opinion.
So based on that, are you disliking Dr. Buttface as much as I did an episode ago?
His dislike gauge is definitely going up. Like, this was the episode, like, okay, there's one point, this is maybe scenes or story, I'm getting ahead of myself, but this may be part of the acting, but at the end, when he's like, run as far away from here as you can, and he didn't fucking move, and there was, like, no emotion in what he was saying, and it was like, run away, get away from here. He's going to explode, or whatever the fuck he was about to do at the end when Keller was turning into a crystal. I just didn't, I don't know. He's just a fucking bad actor. And I don't know if he's supposed to be like super dry and monotone like that, but yeah,
I feel like with him, the other shoe hasn't dropped yet. I don't like him so far, but there's, like, to bring him in, it's just too random and plot servant for this show. Like, there has to be an arc or something else going on with him, like another layer to his character, because right now I just don't get it. Like, and it's not a big deal. It's not like he's like a huge focal point of the show. He's just a guy that every time he shows up, I'm like, can we just get another scientist that will complain less?
Yeah,
in the scene?
That's exactly what it is. Like, you had Fitz and Simmons who were the scientists, and they fed off each other and know this, know that, and kind of went back and forth. And they're trying to almost do that with one person, and it just isn't fucking working.
All right, so let's talk about the elephant in the room. Jeffrey Ward, who plays Deke, who I have been on record as disliking a lot in this show. But making him this really falsely confident tech entrepreneur was actually kind of cool.
His acting ability still wasn't good.
But it fits this guy.
Where they went with the character, it played into his, I don't want to call them strengths, but lesser weaknesses.
The one thing that does bother me is his, like, physical acting. If you watch the way he walks around the office, he's trying to do like a Shaggy from Scooby-Doo type thing.
Yeah.
With his arm. And I don't know who's directing him to do that, but it's just weird. But he was really funny in this episode as the guy who, like, is so infatuated with his own ideas that he can almost, like, he's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, everyone else is just a bunch of yes men around him, and he thinks he's like a fucking genius or a cult leader.
We're living in his world, man.
And then when you find out that there's a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent monitoring him every day, like, he really is just playing house, basically. He's been fucked with the entire time.
Which I'm fine with.
When he was like, that escape room, now are you going to tell me that you actually could have gotten us out of it? That I was, like, cracking up at that scene.
Yeah, that was... And this is going into story, so let's just go straight into story unless you have anything else on acting.
The only thing I was just double down on, Lucas Bryant, who played Keller, had a tough arc in this story. By the way, rest in peace, Keller. Who had the under on...
I didn't, man. I thought he was in it for the long haul, to be honest with you.
Damn. Yeah, this was much sooner than I expected. I thought they were going to build up him and Yo-Yo a lot more. But He was good in this episode. I'm assuming this is his final episode, unless there's something. I mean, it's Agents of Shield, so never say never.
Yeah, you
But
never know. I mean, Grant Ward is probably going to show up here in the next episode.
no doubt. All right, on to story. What did you want to say?
Okay, so going along the lines of Deke, just having him again, like you said, they're playing into the actor's strengths here, I think. But having him creating a video game out of the framework, and having this startup company where he's just, like you said, playing house, fucking genius, man. I love it. And then obviously having a SHIELD agent watching over him and babysitting, like it's typical SHIELD. And again, I love everything about it. Then the only thing, and this is a character issue that this is part of the reason that we hate Deke. So after Mac knocks out that dude, and then Deke just unloads the ice gun into him, and then, oh no, he's out of bullets to actually take the big dude out. Like, those are scenes why I hate Deke.
Basically, when they're not on that freighter in the future, he's kind of useless.
Very useless.
Right? Like, the only thing he was helpful then was his knowledge of the way that the Kree or whoever was running that ship and ways to sort of circumvent their security. Now that they're on Earth and he's a fish out of water, he's just hurt the team. Just to kind of piggyback on your point, when Mac was kicking the shit out of that guy, can his biceps get any bigger?
I was actually thinking his biceps got a little bigger. His shoulders looked smaller, and they were almost his biceps were almost disproportionate.
Dude, he looks like he could just crush a person's head easily with his hands.
Stupid easy. Still don't like him.
So one thing, maybe I missed this in the story, but why did Sarge's team want Deke, and how did they find him? Like, what was their motivation there?
So we'll get to that in theories. Hold that thought.
Okay, because they just randomly show up at his tech company, right?
So I think they're hunting the zombie bat things, and I think Zeke may or may not have one in him.
Deke?
Yeah. What'd I say?
Zeke?
Yeah, I don't understand the problem.
Some guy named Zeke might also, though. We don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, so there really wasn't much with story here. All it was Deke being reintroduced. He realizes his life has kind of been a pseudo facade for the past however many months. And then obviously S.H.I.E.L.D. tracks down Sarge's team to that base, still trying to figure out what the fuck is going on with this now crystal poison gas that sort of chest burster versions people, which I actually thought was really cool, and the CGI was awesome.
I thought the CGI was really good. I was going to comment on that.
This whole episode, I just wrote down the CGI of the Quinjets looks fucking incredible. That scene where Deke and I can't remember the name of the other agent who was undercover run outside and one lands. I'm like, damn, dude, for a TV budget. Basically, I think now the show is at the point where it's like they use CGI relatively sparingly. So if they're going to put it in the show, they're going to make sure it looks fucking great.
I think what they did, I think your point is exactly right, but what they did with Ghost Rider a couple seasons ago set the bar, and they can't go back now because, I mean, fans like us are going to eat them alive if they go back on the CGI from Ghost Rider. Right.
All right, on to best scene.
I got one more thing on plot. So we were talking about earlier, Keller, obviously, R.I.P. him, but Yo-Yo being so upset after she killed him, like, I didn't feel that the way that I feel like I should have felt that because they were dating, and I don't know, it just seemed like they were dating for like a week, like a high school girlfriend that we might have made out with once at the movies.
And she gave us an OTPH under the bleachers.
Yeah.
Which is an over-the-pants hand job for those of you scoring at home. I think the issue with this is like a lot of their relationship was like built up in between seasons, which doesn't minimize it at all. Like there's real time that has to elapse between seasons in a lot of cases. But as an audience member, it's just tougher to, like you said, to buy into that just because we haven't seen them on screen that much.
I hate to say this, but I want to say they're pushing Mac and Yo-Yo back together with this event.
I kind of got the ink, and it's weird because I've never really, we've said this before on the show, I've never really bought them much as a couple.
Yeah, if you watch the slingshot, I think they're called the slingshots, the YouTube things they went, you buy it more. Yeah, you buy it more. But I agree, if you're just the typical fan that hasn't seen the show or only seen the show.
Think about Mac, and I know that she was not real, but in the framework, his love and connection for his daughter versus, and again, it's a different dynamic of relationship, but compare that to anything he's ever shown towards Yo-Yo. It's dwarfed, right?
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
100%. All right, on to best scene. What do you got?
All right, my best scene, and I can't believe I'm actually going to say this, but when Deke and Sarge met up in the conference room, and they're kind of going back and forth, and then Deke figures out that Sarge is not Coulson. I actually
seemed really uninterested in selling that lie. He was like, I'm just going to stab you the first time you question anything I say.
Yeah, I thought, though, it all worked really well, and I actually thought Jeffrey Ward did a fantastic job in that scene. Like, playing his character, going, wait a minute, something's off about you, Coulson. Wait a minute. Agent Doug? Doug is Doug. And then, like, figuring it out. And I actually thought it was a really well acted, well written scene for being pretty short and kind of minor in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I knew that was kind of what they sold, or not sold, but that was what the promos for this episode were showing. So I was assuming that would be a pretty big part of the plot. And it's just interesting, again, Clark Gregg playing we don't even know yet, a clone of himself, something like that, still acts circles around Jeffrey Ward, even when he's like basically got one hand tied behind his back because of his character.
Yeah.
My best scene, I got an honorable mention. I thought the opening scene where Deke was in the framework.
Nope.
It was hilarious, dude.
No.
It was funny.
Any scene with a goddamn shotgun axe does not even
it was all done in jest. They were like making fun of all that stuff and making fun of Deke, making him this hero. And at the end when Daisy shows up and he goes, sorry, babe, traffic was a bitch. I was like, dude, I want to watch an 80s action movie.
Look, deep down, I agree with everything you say. But on principle, I can't because the fucking shotgun axe.
But they weren't playing it straight, is why I thought you would like it.
Yeah, it made an appearance, and I wish that the shotgun axe died. In all seriousness, serious.
I think you got it. Seriousness.
I agree with you. That was a really good scene. That was actually my second best scene.
And luckily, you realized like halfway through, like that it's a joke.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize it was the Kree at first, and so I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, where? I thought he was gonna be in space, and like somehow Fitz and Simmons and that whole storyline was gonna show up with him, and then I realized, and then obviously once Daisy comes out, you're like, "Oh, okay, I get it."
And then when Max sees it at the end and looks at him like, the fuck is wrong with you? He's like, I'll give you 2%
of the entire company. Like,
so
2% is that much.
Yeah, those bookend the show, which is pretty good. But the other one that I really put, and this is cheating because this scene was like the whole other storyline of the episode. But I got a real, and this was obviously, I feel like an intentional, but a real like Alien 1 vibe from everything that was happening with Keller and team, even before that bat flew into his mouth, like the chest burster illusions and like this fear of like, we don't know what this thing is. If it gets inside of you, like I'm glad they didn't go the zombie route because the guy was like, no, like you're dead, but this thing is going to live. I don't know. That whole scene was just really creepy and really close quarters. And I thought it was shot really well. And I was just, even though we're not that attached to Yo-Yo and Keller, like obviously I didn't want him to die, and once that thing flew in his mouth, that's why I texted you. I was like, who had the under on Keller living?
Right?
Yeah, because he's not gonna make it.
Okay, so I may have missed something along the way, but who was that African American SHIELD agent? Like at the beginning, that handed Mac
Diaz.
Is that who it was? They handed Mac the little like report, and then she's walking around the halls with Keller and Yo-Yo hunting the zombie bat.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen her in a previous episode, to be honest.
Okay, so she's just somebody that they needed, so they threw her in?
Yeah, and it kind of seemed like they made a point to say her name, so I'm not sure if she'll be a more recurring character later on in the show, but it does feel like this season, and obviously we know we're getting a 7th season, but they are trying to introduce some of the more ancillary SHIELD members, like they've been out recruiting, like John Calipari, and they got some more hands on deck.
Yeah, I mean, you need all first-round picks, otherwise you can't win that national championship.
The tough is getting these guys playing time, so they don't transfer. That's the hard thing.
Yeah.
All right, last one is theories and questions. Dude, I don't know, man. I don't feel like they're giving us much right now, which I'm fine with. Slow play me. This felt like a filler episode in a few ways. But there was a lot of action in it and some interesting stuff, so I'm not complaining about it. But as far as like stuff to chew on. I mean, it was pretty much just the bone, right? There wasn't much meat there.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot, but there was enough where I've got two, and I'm also going on the coming up next, like what's coming on the next episode. Between the episode and that, I have two.
Which Trend Pimp doesn't watch, so Trend Pimp maybe go ahead like a minute, 10 seconds.
Make it like a minute 45.
All
right. So first, so Trend Pimp doesn't get in here. I think Fitz and Simmons will still not be together after the next episode.
So in the promo, he yells Simmons, like she's like right next to him at one point.
I still don't think that they're going to be there. All right. So hopefully Trend Pimp is back with us now. This one, so the dude that huffs the Pennzoil said he has the signature, but he's different from everybody else, or something along those lines when talking about Deke when they were tracking him.
Got it.
So with that being said, I think that somehow Deke is the key to kill or eradicate the zombie bats. And it really pains me to say this, but I think he's going to be a very focal point in getting rid of them.
So the zombie bats, are we supposed to interpret in the whatever previous timeline or dimension, Sarge's team, like, because they did that to the guy, like they zombie batified him, so that they just let that get out of control. They basically caused the destruction of the planet.
Maybe.
I took it.
No, I took it as they're hunting the zombie bats.
But they're the ones who stabbed that dude at the beginning of the episode and crystallized him and put the bat inside of him.
No, they killed the bat. The bat was already inside of him.
If they killed the bat, then how did it fly around the SHIELD HQ and then?
Because they took the sword out, or the knife out. It didn't do that until they took the knife out.
So how did that guy already have the knife or have the bat in him?
Because he ate the bat just like Keller did.
So maybe they like lie dormant in humans or something.
Something. Look,
right,
look. None of my theories are full cocked.
No, that actually makes a lot of sense, though.
They're usually like 3/4 to half cocked.
So I've two questions, but first off, I have to talk about costume design, which we rarely talk about ever on the show because we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. But
Deke's Hawaiian shirt was on point.
Sure, that was great, and his friend with the lemon shirt I thought was pretty funny too. But Sarge's team this episode dressed like fucking if Mad Max had to shop at like Plato's Closet. It was like post-apocalyptic, but like on a budget is what it looked. What it looked like. I don't know. It was just really distracting to me. I was like, what the fuck are these guys wearing?
Mad Max shops at Plato's Closet.
It was like, it's the end of the world, but like, let's still not just blow money for no reason. All right. Then I have one quote that I picked up on. So Sarge says to Deke, or about Deke. Oh no, to Deke, when he's like chasing him in the office, quote, "I've been hunting your kind my entire life," end quote. So that means, number one, that Sarge and his team are probably not human if they've been hunting his kind. And then second off, what have they been doing? Like, are they here to eradicate the human race? Like, I just thought that was really interesting and clearly not an accident that he said that.
I think that right there you're playing into my theory a little bit, where Deke has maybe some sort of the zombie bat DNA. Maybe because Fitz and Simmons, as grandparents, did some scientific shit to their kids. I don't know. Maybe. But somehow Deke and the zombie bats are connected.
Okay.
And we know that Deke is a main character because Jeffrey Ward's name is on the opening, like, I don't know, what's it called? The opening
credits, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that kind of ties into my second one, because my second one was basically what was Sarge's reason for going after Deke? Because it didn't seem like they wanted any of his technology, which there was an abundance of it, right? If they were hunting for any of that.
Yeah,
they wanted him specifically. But also, it didn't seem like they just wanted to kill him, because if they did, Sarge would have just, like, stabbed him in the chest the second he saw him, right?
Yeah, I took that, and again, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I took that as because it looked like he was about to kill him until he said Coulson, and then he pulled the knife back and was like, wait a minute. So he's trying to figure out why these people think they know him, and then once he realized, like, okay, this dude's a fucking idiot, I should just kill him.
A last thing I just thought of. So we talked about at the end of the previous episode, episode 3, that shot of Sarge shooting up that like projectile map, we think, into the stars.
Yep.
So May has a brief theory about it in this episode, but I can't really remember what she said. Do you?
Yo-Yo said something about they're looking for something, we just don't know what.
Okay.
I don't know what May said.
I gathered that. I didn't know if they. I thought maybe it was
maybe
Yo-Yo.
she did. I don't remember.
Either way, they're kind of teasing that, and I'm wondering if whatever that thing was, that's what led them to Deke. If it's tracking something like.
Oh, I think there's no doubt that it somehow led them to Deke.
All right, so we got the pieces to the puzzle are here, but we don't even have like the edges yet. To where like.
Oh no, we flipped them all over the right way.
Which is big.
That's a big for Bro Force Squad. That's a step in the right direction.
That's night 1. All right, let's pop a bottle of wine. Let's kick our feet up because we can sleep with the work we've done here. All right, anything you want to leave the people with?
Beb, I think that's it.
Jesus Christ, is this going to be a thing now?
Beb, maybe.
All right, for the mad scientist, Brian Banner, I'm the mayor, Jeff Hornacek, and we are the Bro Force Squad podcast. Thank you guys so much for checking us out. Check out all of our other stuff. We review the rest of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Of course, we'll be here all season. We do movie reviews, movie commentaries, and, of course, episodes of our podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at Bro Force Squad. Subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, and Spotify if you type in Bro Force Squad. That's 3 words, and type in those same 3 words on letterboxd.com to read all of our reviews. And when you have access to the internet, you can find us at broforsquad.com. Till next time, we'll catch you at the Boba tea shop. So that actress was actually Jed Whedon's wife.
Beb, get out of here.
So she's not really an actor, so you're kind of an asshole for, coming at her like a Wolverine. Good.
I don't even know what Wolverine sounds are, but pretty sure that was it.
That was probably close.